Welcome back to Scum and Villainy, Counts of the Night Beast. It's episode 6, entitled On the Ground. Last session. Let's go ahead and take a moment to have a little bit of a moment of silence for Biko. You know, just everybody who remembered them. Okay, that was long enough. Okay, so moving in, the ship had to be moved. The things that I want to kind of elucidate that are changes or retcons to last episode that would be explained during the last week on show. The shuttle had to be moved after the fact because you don't want to leave the shuttle close to the wreckage of a hegemonic tank. Hegemony is going to probably look for it, and they'll probably find it. And if they do, and there's a ship next to it, 1 + 1 equals shoot that ship. So you move the ship, but you still don't have a good method for landing the ship due to the state of the atmosphere, the kind of electronic interference that you're getting that's causing sensors to be kind of messed up. And for those who are watching at home, in that last time on Dragon Ball Z bit, you would note that they have descended down the Camus pylon into the clouds below the cloud layer. They were immediately under the understanding that their sensors were pretty fucked up due to the atmospheric interference. They landed the ship, got shot by an EMS anchor, which is electromagnetic surge anchor that basically turns a ship into a magnet and kind of polarizes with the gravity of the planet. It was not going to last for very long, 30 minutes or so. And Biko, or Becco, whatever, we mentioned, jumped out of the ship as everybody was preparing to engage the tank in Mortal Kombat, and tried to unlatch the anchor. And when the battle cannon shot hit the side of the ship, it split Biko in half. The group was able to fire back, blowing up the tank, and also working together to kill the spotters outside of the tank. But I just want to confirm that this is SOP. This is something that Thane would basically be able to express to you. The group appears to be harvesters or collectors. Typically, a team of military operatives will be sent down to collect resources. And he's used to the idea of collecting biological samples. That's something that's not uncommon for these individuals. And it looked like the containers were identical to the ones that contained the Night Beast egg that you had tried to sell, wasn't able to sell, then sold and watched horrifically as the contents were consumed by a way user. So that. You can't land the ship easy, so you're not going to fly in on the rebel base or the pilgrim base. So instead you land, and your guide will lead you to it. I will give the group a gambit, a free one, that you can have for the remainder of this mission, or if you don't use it, into the next missions. If you can remember the name of your guide.
Hold on.
It's Cooper, also known as Double Tap.
Double tap. We'd love to see it.
Hmm.
So you have a free gambit added onto this mission. If you choose to kind of piggyback or chain your missions like we discussed, that gambit will stay with you as long as you have one unspent gambit at the end of this mission, and so on and so forth. Okay. So the march, the hike rather, is not easy. It's definitely a bit aggravating due to the unevenness of the terrain. There are a lot of points where you'll notice that there is architecture that appears to be more old world. And this would be stuff that Thane the most would notice. It looks like there's a lot of attempts to kind of create architecture or to kind of copy architecture from more core planets. So these are definitely individuals who came down here wanting to create a better place for themselves, but for whatever reason, these buildings and the like have been absolutely decimated. It's a literal hellscape of destruction. Every so often, you can see kind of buried deep in the rubble, or kind of sticking out of pieces of it. Remnants of the people who weren't as fortunate to make it to the pylons or make it to the pilgrim groups. And Double Tap will explain that there was a lot of unrest early on. A corporation that was present on the planet in its earliest days tried to usurp the rulership of the planet, which at the time was a kind of a more religious based group than a like a guild or something to that effect. There was just a lot of people here who were seeking relics and artifacts because they were told these planets were ancient sites that were used as a bastion against the Dark Star, which is the kind of nearby system outside of Dracia called Adlot. I'm going to move us to the sector map or system map. So, as we discussed, the main way into the system is from Breck and the Procyon sector. And then there is an old gate kind of in the solar system here that takes people to a system called Adlat. And you can see Adlat's star from anywhere in the system, unless you're being blocked by some, celestial body. But for the most part, you can see it. It is a relatively bright, kind of gray star, and it's almost as if its light is like a dying light, or like a UV kind of like it's very gray. That's the point. Okay, so that said, you continue on, and you come to a point where the guide says that just over the ridge is where he last knew the pilgrims' main camp to be located. He personally does not want to be the one that engages them directly, because he's not sure how that will go. He says that once you're able to kind of break the ice, so to speak, he might be better received, but he warns that it might be the case that he might be shoot on sight. I muttered that really quick. I just want to make sure that was on purpose. Johnny, you caught it.
What do you mean?
So you met my associate back at the store. Yeah, she and I left the group. I wasn't a member of the Pilgrims. She was, but we left the group maybe about a year or two ago. Not under the greatest circumstances, I guess is the best way to kind of say it. She took some things she wasn't supposed to take. I took something I wasn't supposed to take. Namely, the daughter of the leader of the group. And she left me and left the planet. So, he knows that and probably isn't too happy with me. Music got quiet. Pretty good timing. I didn't even do that on purpose.
Oh, that is a problem.
Shouldn't be. I mean, you folks could. You brought something as a bargaining chip, right? You should be able to talk to him.
Well, that's too bad. You can't win them all, champ.
That's right.
Yeah,
Wait,
no,
what
we
did
got a bargain.
we?
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I may have missed this. This is in character. What did we bring as a bargaining chip?
A coffin thing, right?
Yeah, I have a this large luxury item.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big wall poster
Yeah.
from the Urs.
If you want to hang back, I guess we can make our way down there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll just stay behind everybody, but I mean, I can move with you.
Stay behind the big guy.
You got it. He very quickly shifts behind Tara. All right. Who's taking point? Do you want to do anything kind of in the move up? Is there any actions you want to employ as you approach the pilgrim camp?
Just kind of look for, I don't know, any landmarks or anything that, you know,
Okay.
seems interesting.
So you're mainly kind of focusing on the area with purpose, right? Like you want to know if there's anything noteworthy, but also if there's anything that you might be missing that might be a defensive problem, right? Or are you just looking around? You go either way with Jazz, right?
I think you understood. Well, yeah, that.
Okay. Cool. Anybody else have anything that they want to do?
I feel like we should put a sack over his head, just so they can. He probably.
Guess what? You're the offering.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. Then we can keep this large luxury item.
Well, I didn't mean like that. I mean, like, so they won't recognize him. But I mean,
Wow, Tarash, you're a genius. What a great suggestion.
Good idea. All right, put a stack over his head.
what?
I'm
Okay.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. Fine.
He says, okay. I mean, that's what you want to do.
I kind of give him a knock on the shoulder. Stay by the big guy.
Doctor's face is serious.
Are we putting it back on his head or no?
That'd be pretty funny though.
Oh no.
if you do.
Okay. Does anybody have any actions they want to take as we move up to the camp?
Tosh would just keep an eye out for any like, shady people who might be, you know,
We already
danger.
did the initial. Oh, I'm sorry, Tarash.
I don't know. I was saying like keep an eye out for like people who might like look shady, who might like shoot at us or something like that.
Sure. Remaining vigilant. Perfect.
Mhm.
How about your statement there, Gijo? What were you going to say?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did we already do engagement?
Yeah, that's already been done.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's why we got attacked by a tank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My brain is like slowly rebuilding itself. Okay, so um I would like to kind of maintain this like are we traveling right now? Like on foot?
Yeah, on
Are
foot.
we
Yep, you're hiking.
okay, so I would kind of like to maintain like this field of like the sensory field in the way to kind of maybe even just to aid Tarash in like procking anybody that might be like hiding behind a wall or to kind of like gain a kind of like ping anybody that's like may not be immediately visible.
Of course. So I was hoping you'd say that. So a very interesting thing happens when you start to exert your senses outward. You start to realize that the storm is actually filled with particulates. Most people who are kind of walking about don't seem to notice it, right? There's some sort of particulate in the storm, in the wind, in the kind of light downpour. There's just some strange kind of material that's present, and you cannot, for the life of you, understand why your way keeps locking onto it. It's like everywhere is like to you, to everybody, it's just like, whatever. It's like dirt, right? It's dirty out here. To you, it's like sparkles. It's like when you pop the way open and start feeling, it's like everything is shiny, and it's really not helpful. But you are able to kind of get a beat on three factors. There are people definitely over that ridge, a large grouping of people. It doesn't seem like there's anyone that has hostile empathic vibes that are kind of jutting out from you. So it's one and two, the first two things. And then the third thing is whatever they're on top of feels like the stuff around you, but way bigger. Like underground, there's this vibe of sparkles, but from underneath the earth. Muted. You're muted.
She would share, that there's a group over that ridge, and I'm getting a lot of interference. There's some kind of powerful art. I can't. Some body entity force. I can hardly label it or describe it. Um, it's beneath whatever. It's beneath the group of people that's over there. They don't seem to be hostile or anything, but we should prepare to consort with them.
Thane goes into a coughing fit, and doesn't seem to be able to kind of like talk much more than just rasping, which is why he's here but not able to do the job that he's brought. I thought of it very quickly, but if he gets back, he pops a lozenge and he's fine. Um, for everyone else, are we moving up towards the ridge? And again, are there any actions that anybody wants to take? And also, in keeping, Lupita, go ahead and make me an attune roll. Because there's two more pieces of information that are possible.
What's my position?
We are still in not risky.
What's the effect?
Effect will be standard for this.
Any bonus?
No. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
So
Nice.
the two factoids that you will gather is, first off, there is a way user in that group, and they also are attuned. So when you sense inwards, you kind of both meet in the middle. And I want to ask you a question again, with keeping in mind you have a success here, so kind of post-success understanding. You're doing this in a cautious and kind of like skeptical, kind of almost like paranoid is not the right word, but like defensively, mentally kind of like position. But when this way user and you kind of, for lack of a better term, see each other in the way, what would your like mental empathic like position kind of shift to?
Definitely a kind of, greetings, friend, I approach in peace sort of vibe.
Okay. There's an almost like pleasant kind of empathic feeling of like um, greeting as well, like a salutation as well. No mental like verbiage is passed from this way user, which to you means that they are very much an empath, or they're just not trained in kind of the mental arts of the way. You also then get a vibe that they're moving up the other side of the ridge to potentially greet you. And then the second thing, because again, the way user and their connection there was the first thing. The second thing is whatever it is that's under the ground, that sparkly thing, is very much like the shard key that you have.
Okay.
Cool. So, Tarash, you said you were kind of keeping an eye out for everything. Anybody taking any actions besides? Okay. Then you would see that a person in robes kind of comes up over the ridge. Looks like they're wearing kind of like a hood or scarf or combination of the two, kind of wrapped around their head. They kind of come up over the ridge, immediately kind of empathically ping Lupita and raise their hands out to the side, as some of you kind of not sure who this person is, as they just suddenly appeared.
Are these people? Gotta look to Pita.
Gonna nudge the captain.
He said he'd be right back. Like,
What, did you see something?
there we go.
I've been back. Can you point at the people?
Yeah, it's just a person coming up over the ridge, and their hands are kind of out to the side in a peaceful gesture. They're wearing heavy robes, and they seem to have like a scarf slash, shawl, hood, what have you, kind of wrapped around their head.
Oh yeah, he'll wave and start, then usher the group to head that way.
They'll kind of descend down, and yeah, you're very able to kind of get a sense that she, again, something you'd be able to detect in the way as well, their specifics. She comes down and says through the muffled kind of, garment, "I do not know you, but I sensed you. What brings you to this place, Walker?" Seems to be directing her voice at Lupita.
We. Oh no, Lupita's not really prepared for this. I'm escorting our group, or I'm part of the escort for our captain. We wish to parley with um, the ascendant pilgrims of the of this community.
Come, I will welcome you into this community, and they will hopefully greet you with open arms. She heads back up the hill. She seems to have kind of a, pretty measured gait, and as you can see, like, her step is soft and doesn't seem to push the rubble out from underneath her. As you see that the ridge actually has kind of a bit of a it's crumbly. It's crumbly. It's the word I want to use. But she doesn't seem to be shifting the dirt and rubble as commonly as you folks start to do as you make your way up. Once you make it over the ridge, she holds her hands out to the side. You see some others who have kind of old-style hunting blasters, kind of not raising them up, but kind of keeping them at the ready. There's some commotion, and as you're kind of coming down the ridge a little bit behind her, there's this moment where your ears pop, not like a sudden, violent pop, kind of like if you were in an airplane, for those of you who have been, and like you hit that certain altitude, right? It's kind of just like a shift of your senses, specifically hearing, and you start to hear a loud drilling coming from the center of this space, and your attention's kind of drawn to that, and you would see what looks like a old style hegemonic drill that's been kind of purposed in the center there and is drilling in the ground. Jazz, you recognize immediately that there's a noise buffer in place. Noise buffers basically are a device you can place that creates an emanation out from it that basically blocks noise from going out of it. And very common in mining facilities because, people in the office don't want to be bothered by shit just down the way, like explosions, what have you. The commotion kind of musters a bit. There's some shenanigans going on there. And you see one guy kind of come out of the throng of people who start to kind of look in your general direction. And he's a goofy-looking guy. He looks like what's the actor's name from Back to the Future? Christopher Lloyd? Is that
Christopher
right?
Lloyd?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He looks like Christopher Lloyd, but he's wearing like garb from Fallout, right? Like he's wearing kind of just rugged, worn gear. And he kind of walks over and he's like, who the hell are you? And why the fuck is he back here? Points at your guide.
You see him, he's behind the big one. Anyway,
he kind of points at his eyes. He's like,
I'm pleased to meet you, Captain Jazz of the Stardust Crusade.
He steps forward, like kind of just very brusquely, and throws his hand out.
Same.
Yep, he kind of grasps hands, like, very kind of interlocking, kind of like wrists, and shake kind of deeply. And you recognize that this man is a person who has definitely done some hard labor, for the hegemonic structure. He nods his head. You got a reason for being down here?
Yeah. We are looking for more folks for the cause.
He kind of immediately kind of throws his hand forward against your jacket, kind of hits it kind of just suddenly. Were you wearing armor of any kind?
Armor 2.
You're armored?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of looks at you and says, "You kind of looking for a fight?"
Oh, what? Would I have came up to you if I was looking for a fight?
I'm not saying with me, but you seem to be dressed for one.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, you never know when your luck's going to run out, huh?
Yeah. Well, our spotters were able to make out a hegemonic tank that got zeroed out there in the wastes by some small little shuttle that kind of popped off and hopped off towards our direction shortly thereafter. Was that you motherfuckers?
Yeah.
Anybody willing to shoot a hegemonic vehicle's okay with me. I guess that's a decent enough bit of a start there. But I still want to know, what the fuck is he doing here? Points at him.
Oh, he's the one who brought us down. Who's the one showing us the way down here? We didn't know anything about the reason why you don't want him or would want him until about right over that hill.
He didn't tell you before he took you on out here, huh?
Oh, mm-mm.
So that must mean that he really wants to apologize, I'm guessing.
I think so.
Double Tap kind of leaves behind Taraj.
No, he's got to push him out.
Yeah.
Come on up.
I want to apologize, and I'm sorry about your daughter, okay? She didn't want to be on World anymore, and she used me to get off the planet.
Yep.
You see him, the leader kind of go, yeah, okay. Well, hopefully she doesn't end up in any trouble. She should be fine. All right, Double Tap. That's fine. You brought these folks here to me. They seem to be all right folks. Fighters, scrappers, we like that. What do you mean, cause? You with those assholes in the pylon?
No. No. The hegemony?
No. The rebels, or whatever they call themselves. Fucking dickhead, Chemical Steven, I think his name is.
Well, they definitely told me you're down here, but it's broader than that.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm definitely not from here. Yeah.
Well, I don't suppose you got me anything that might be of interest to me that might make me kind of trust you a bit more. I mean, I'm on the fence, definitely leaning
And I,
towards trust, but
well, I mean, you got the. Did you know about your what happened with your daughter or?
oh yeah. She left the planet, and
Oh, okay.
he took her, and what's
Shit.
her name? The one, um, old lady. I'm bad with names,
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
but she took some stuff of ours. Not terribly fond of that, and
Oh, well, actually, no, he did mention that. Yeah, we got something. Then I'll, Jazz will usher.
Zelry,
Yeah,
you come forward, Zelry.
Yeah, and then put down the large luxury items.
He looks at it. He goes, "Huh? Looks like a parchment case." He looks around the area. Probably want to go somewhere safer to take a look at it. Come on, come with me. And he kind of gestures. And
all right.
no, you don't all have to come along if you don't want to. Feel free to walk around the grounds or whatever. And then he yells out in kind of old, like core worlder like tongue to everybody to. These are my guests. Don't harm them. If they take from you, tell me, and we will take in kind. And then he kind of moves to, which is common parlance. These are my guests. They're not entitled to everything we own.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
that's
Fair.
he'll walk you, whoever wants to go with him, to what appears to be a metal kind of sky dropped facility. So basically, when you're setting up a planet side excavation or you're doing kind of terraforming, you'll drop a mobile base in a drop pod onto a planet. This is a common practice of the, oh god, what was the name of the guild that was a part of the Pilgrims? Well, anyways, the guild isn't terribly important. The main thing is that there are corporation markers on it, and you would note that it appears to be a Lutani artifice.
Fun.
Who goes with him inside?
I guess I do because I'm carrying the artifact.
Makes
I mean
sense.
the
We'll call it that.
item.
Then probably Thane. And then maybe Orin.
Yeah, you should have bought a gas mask. Me.
Orin,
If they want to.
you going in, Orin, or are you staying outside? Zach, you're Orin.
I'm probably gonna stay outside. I don't see any reason why.
Okay, stay outside and keep an eye on stuff out here. Okay,
Yeah.
and then Tarash staying outside or going in.
I guess you could. Oh,
Did Captain ask him to go in or no?
Well, I'd say check if Lupita wants to meet with whoever is on the hill or whatever. No, I
I
wouldn't
mean-
have known any of that.
Lupita would be more interested in safety. So, I mean, she would want to, whoever's going, like if Zelri is going in, then she should go in with an escort. So Lupita will escort her.
Well,
Oh,
Jazz.
then
is
yeah,
going.
definitely. Well, yeah,
Oh, Jazz is going
We're all
in too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then Lupita's definitely also going.
Okay.
Oh, then okay.
So Orin, Tarash, and
Just a sidebar. Definitely let me know if you want to come.
right. So you go inside. It's if there's 3 or 4 of you in here. It's a bit cramped. It's not terribly cramped, but there's a pretty big desk in the middle of the space that you kind of come into. He has you place the tube roll out there and then kind of very surgically and precisely opens it as if he's done this before. and then pulls out the piece of parchment, lays it out, and you see it in all its glory. And as I described it last time, it is a depiction of a man, kind of chest bared, holding up a light blade, a woman at his leg. There's a strange Urbot made out
What
of
about that?
gold padding another Urbot. There appear to be like comets flying in the sky towards what appears to be a space station. And there's a weird helmeted individual in shadow in the sky behind it. And then strange writing at the top and at the bottom, these symbols. He says, magnificent. Not seen as equal. Where did you get this? Thane explains where he got it from. Oh, well, amazing. I will take this into my own treasury, and I will maintain it for the histories. Thank you so much for this beautiful gift.
Yeah.
So, this cause, you wish to unseat hegemonic control here? Or, like, chemical
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I am also interested in this matter. I think that we have been unable to fully explore the surface and undersurface of Parias, due in part to hegemonic interventions. I also feel it's more than likely and highly probable that the dropping of the pylons to form Hosui City has caused irreparable damage to relics beneath the surface. My goal is to continue to find what I can on the surface. However, if I were able to seize control of one or more pylons, not an effort I've tried at lately, but one I've kept in the back of my mind, I think I would be able to investigate the lower portions of the pylon to see if the exterior of them had any signs of damage to such earth structures. So my dream, from what I understand now of the politics of the Comet's pylon, is that they are currently being led by a member of House Hachi from the center pylon. If you're interested, I'd very much want to alleviate him of his burden of rulership over the pylon. Possibly relieve him of the burden of breathing. What say you?
They're with the hegemony, they're an issue.
I agree. And I would say my priority one. But if you have something else that you would like to do that could sway me from my desires, my goals, if I were to join you, I would hear it, especially since you are so willing to part with such an amazing gift.
No, no, I think we should do that.
No, yeah.
I'm full on for it. Let's go.
So, how many are your number? He says,
How? He looks back to anybody who. Zelry, how many we got on the ship again? I forget.
Currently,
We just lost one. Braco?
He sure did.
Greco. Who?
We have 6, right?
7.
7.
Oh, that's right. 7. Yeah, we got 7
Captain
folks.
Captain makes 7.
So that's not a lot, he says. But you have a shuttle.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you have a ship?
Yes.
Now we're talking. Armaments. What have you got?
We have. Is not prepared.
It's particle cannons and missiles.
And
Miss-
yeah, we got an array of missiles and a particle cannon.
Those are illegal.
Also, yeah. We also have a coherence cannon we could fit. Maybe.
You got the crew to do it? Because if you put them to engineering in the pylon, you're going to probably get red flagged and swept. Probably not.
Yeah, no.
I'm
We
surprised.
we don't here on the ship right
You must
now.
have like a transponder or something. They probably would have pinged you for the missiles.
We do.
Well, there you go. That explains a lot. The missiles could be very beneficial. Could make our job quite easy. Hell, insanely so. All you'd have to do is get a good vector point and fire one right into their office space. Kill the prince, no problem.
Well, I do. That does sound good. I'm just not sure about making it off planet. If you feel me,
That wouldn't be my goal,
I'm well aware.
because I plan to continue fighting. It would be the first punch in a long series of punches.
Yes.
If you're not interested in the long haul fight, then I don't know if we can really bandy together.
Okay. No, I that makes complete sense.
Captain,
Mm.
um, what about the long-term support of the rebellion?
No, yeah,
Um,
no, like I would say that we're definitely interested in getting more numbers here as well. This is more just like can we get it like moving, so to say.
Yeah, so if you're not ready, then that's fine. I mean, I suppose I will hear you out when you feel that you are. I just feel it's strange. So you want my support. You have the ability to do what you want to do and what we would want you to do to start our efforts more in earnest. So what's stopping you? Are you afraid word's going to get out somehow? I'm pretty sure the only means of communication that they have is the prince's offices.
Well, not something that I guess I or we were aware of. As someone who grew up under the the fist of the hegemony,
Me too.
I just wanted to. I guess I wanted to see what kind of support we can get from the bottom that can go up to the top.
If it comes to it, we have a means of entering into the pylon, breaching it. The problem is if we do, it'll be the last time we get a chance to do it. We could make our way up past the 42nd floor, continue on into the hegemonic structures above, if need be, as long as we have support from elsewhere. The main issue is if they're allowed to draw their forces to one location, we're literally fighting out of a basement.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. We don't have any way of contacting out.
Yeah, currently communications are fucked.
Yeah. Fuck.
Do you ask about that?
Yeah. Yes. We don't have our engineer.
Oh, it shouldn't be a problem. Give it a day or two. The silt storm will pass.
Oh. Well, I mean, I could definitely reach out, probably get you guys some more support.
It affects
Once
the
we,
pylons. But the storms affect the pylons as well. We could also
Right.
time it so that when we attack the lower half, we could potentially lock out their capabilities of calling upwards. But again, once we breach a certain level, they'll have.
You can't go back. Right.
Yeah.
That sounds daring. I think it's a good idea to do that. I don't think there's going to be any issue of getting support out here once they know that, everything's started up and we can get something going for you. But
Yeah.
we do have to communicate back. That's kind of the big issue.
Fair enough. Well,
So this is a big move,
We
and
have-
I understand your hesitancy.
we have communication. It's possible. It's going to be a couple days before communication out is possible.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
If you need to communicate with somebody back at the pylon, you can leave and go there and then communicate with us from there, or you can stay here and then once the communication's possible, call out your call.
Well,
Are you working with Chemical, Steven?
kinda. It was more just like someone that we knew that we could.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I know he's a coward.
Right.
The reason I know that's the truth is the reason why he's more than likely still in the pylon. He left us a long time ago. During
Okay.
one of our first encounters with the hegemonic control from Maris pylon. Kind of gestures towards the north. They
Okay.
descended. The pylon descended, crashed into the earth. They sent out surveying teams. We still had homes that were still standing. He kind of gestures to the broken buildings. They bombarded us with an array of sleet weapons, and we were unable to defend ourselves. A lot of our people were just atomized from the destruction they sent forth. When we saw a position for us to counterattack, Stephen was the main issue. He called towards the others, those who left with him, and said that this fight is a unaliving mission. There's no sense in putting ourselves in jeopardy if we want the fight to continue. It's not a fight we can win. He and his left.
Wonderful.
He didn't want to see any more violence. And the part of our plan that he most felt was egregious was the fact that we were going to attack them while they slept. And we did. And we succeeded. They had mobile combat platforms. Their walker systems. I'm sure you've seen them. And we came upon them in the middle of the night with stealth gear, descended into their cabins, and slit their throats while they slept. Not something that Stephen was terribly fond of. He said it was senseless murder. We didn't have to kill them, we could have imprisoned them. Me and everybody who's still with me disagreed. If you were put in the same position, would you pull the trigger? Would you unsheath the knife?
Yeah, I think I would. I think that's how I got to this where I am right now.
Again, I understand humanity, or at least the concept of it, as it was taught to us by old legends. The idea that being kind to others is some sort of karmic ask for you to be treated that way as well. But they murdered hundreds of us.
You can only be stepped on so much.
Right. Right. So, if we're doing this thing, if you wish for us to help you, understand that everyone in those factories dies on our way up. We do not care. And we will do everything we can to secure the pylon. Anyone that stands against us will die. And once the pylon is secured, we'll commandeer their ships, and if necessary, we'll utilize them to destroy the other pylons by whatever means necessary. And in your mind, you're kind of thinking like a sublight flight directly at the base of a pylon would probably do it, but that's not a mission anybody's walking away from.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like if he's in to end it.
Tell you what, we got a couple days.
You are my guests, if you wish to remain.
I think we'll remain, but I think that I'm going to talk it over with the other folks in the crew.
Of course, of course. Feel free to take part in any endeavors that you see fit to you. Here, we are currently attempting to access a site, the door of which we cannot open. So we are trying to drill around it. So far, our efforts have been in vain. And I think a lot of the issue with the silt storm we're currently dealing with is our own fault. So, you can ask questions regarding that. We have some way users, some pilots, some folks who are military minded,
All right.
Defense Force. Feel free to avail yourself of everything we have to offer here.
Well, I appreciate your hospitality, I should say.
Anybody have any other questions for this gentleman?
How do you mean that it is your own doing that is causing the storm?
So the particulates, there's when we're drilling against the material, there's a material that kind of is thrust out into the air. Believe that Jesse said it is a old material that is highly conducive to the way.
Interesting.
She would be the one you'd want to ask more about it, but silt storms get their name because they're made up of this silt material.
Okay, I understand.
Anyone else have any questions for this guy? Definitely one question that nobody's asked, I don't think. That's
For now, Jazz does not.
okay. Anybody else?
Say we help you in this pilot, right? We get free reign on loot.
I'm sorry. Help with what? What's that again?
Just gonna look at the captain. You know, we go in the pylon, we help you with the pranks and whatnot. Are we are you opposed to us helping ourselves to anything we might need for our ship
If
or
it's not
ourselves?
if it's not made by the and it's not something that we can use to help us in our missions after the control of the pylon, I don't care what happens to it.
Okay.
But we're
Then Jazz kind of does like a nod, like,
but we're here to ensure that the relics that are here are kept in good hands and are recorded as such. The hegemony is trying to, and I suppose we are too now, as we try to break the seal on whatever this site is. We are trying to ensure that the things that are present, that were brought here for purpose by our forebears, are understood. So we know why they were brought here, what they were for, and if they can help us against our oppressors, so much the better.
sounds like you kind of need a key or something.
Shut up.
I am not familiar with the way that doors work. Jezzy would be more familiar with that. And also, Brady is also relatively more familiar with the mechanisms of architecture.
And there's a key that most doors have keys. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, surely so. But again, I don't know what that key would be.
Right. No, I get it.
Or even how to use it, because there's no
You
keyhole.
Lupita gives Captain a big eyebrow, like,
you
shut
said
the fuck up, Captain.
It's what you hear in your head.
you said who and who? I apologize.
What's that? Oh, Jezzy.
The two folks.
Jezzy, she's our mystic, and Brady, he's the architect.
All right.
Have you seen any night beasts around here?
Not familiar with the term.
That is something. So yeah, they're like these little lipped eggs, right? You'd think they'd be food, but they're kind of gross.
Lipped eggs.
Yeah, they got a lip on them.
Can you, in like horrifyingly like accurate and precise detail, explain to me how that comes to be? What that would look like? I want you, John, to just for everybody's just ear holes and pleasure of their ear holes. Can you explain what a lipped egg looks like?
I'm pretty sure it
He
was
literally
like...
looks past the camera and says, John, you, the person playing jazz, I need you to say it. Say the words. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know. It's like a purple.
And then at that moment, you kind of stop and you go, wait, what's this guy's name again?
Oh my god! Right.
Nobody asked, if you're wondering. That's what I was trying to say was the thing.
I thought his name was Josiah Steele, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Correct, but this guy may not be Josiah Steele. You've never
Jesus
asked
Christ.
this guy in character what his name was.
That's
Wait a minute. This is now becoming a pattern in the campaign.
You never ask anybody their name the first time you meet them. It's the weirdest thing. I don't understand how it happens.
They're supposed to give me their name.
No. That's not it. Because
I say my name, they give you my name.
You didn't ask his name.
It's the name shows up in the caption when it comes up.
So perfect. Flashback. I tell him my name and then I ask him his name, and then guess what? He tells you his name is Josiah Steele.
Sick. All right, continue.
Confirming that he is the leader of the Pilgrim group.
What an excellent use for flashbacks.
He was the best. Okay. So he, I don't even remember what he was saying. What did you ask me again, John? Before I really.
Oh, you wanted me to explain what a lipped egg looked
That
like?
was obviously a
Okay.
bit. I don't think anybody really wants that.
I don't think they do either.
Except Gijo. I think Gijo might be pining for it. They love the lipped eggs.
Dude, I
That's
know how much out of character I keep
sorry for
pushing
being a
the
troll.
egg that way.
So he says after you describe it in horrific detail, but it's like a fast forward kind of deal, and then like at the end you're like, and that's what they look like, and he's like, no, I can't say I've ever seen that, but I'll never forget it, and it'll live in my dreams forever.
Oh yeah, it's weird because the hegemony troops that we ran into, the scouting party with the tank, they had these like baskets, they're like carrying cases, backpacks that could carry, like looked like they could carry them.
Again, it's not something I've ever heard about. It again, Jesse might be more knowledgeable, and Drav, he's our gatherer and cook.
It's not
I
that
don't,
kind of egg.
I don't think it's. I think this is more the egg that eats you.
Yeah, yeah, but
It,
still,
it,
if something
it did.
biological were encountered, Drav would probably be the first one to notice. Drav
Oh, I
also
got
kind
you.
of backs up as a bit of a medic, since we kind of have everybody has medical training, but you know
Fair enough.
he's probably
You
the most
know,
experienced.
I get it. Yeah, no, this. No, I won't explain that. But yeah, I think we'll kind of mosey around and
Feel free.
talk amongst ourselves, talk amongst maybe Jezzy, the architect, or Drav.
Sounds good.
Go from there.
What was the name of the architect?
Brady.
I
Brain.
also forgot. Thank you. I didn't want to admit it.
Honestly, I prefer it if you ask to confirm like early on than later on going.
Another one. What we're
You're
talking
you're
about.
you're an architect, huh?
Hey, architect,
You know.
how's it going? How's your little son, baby architect? And anywho, okay. So we'll just kind of go through beat, and just check if anybody has anything they want to engage with.
I'll be right back real quick.
Okay, that's fair. We'll start with somebody beside you. Um, does anybody want to go first? Does anybody have anything that you want to do in the pilgrim community that you are most interested in?
I'll go. There's nothing for me.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know if this is possible here, but I would like to gather like a private meeting of the group to talk about whether or not we need to offer this key as a bargaining chip for getting them on board with the rebel cause.
They're on board. Like, yeah, they're on
Yeah.
board.
Oh, they're already on board.
Yeah.
Will it benefit us
It's just
at all?
they
Or maybe they'd be willing to buy it.
they want to murder.
Oh.
They want to murder
prince.
people. Like all the hegemonic people that are in the pylon die. Anyone who's loyal to the hegemony is dead, and then the pylon is taken, and then they are going to literally knock the other pylons filled with people right off the ground. That is their plan.
Yeah.
To use the capital ships of the hegemony or the sub-capital ships of the hegemony that are present in the pylon and smash them into the other pylons.
Hold on.
Yeah.
They are going
So-
full my birthday.
I mean, that's fine, but I thought they said that
What?
knocking down those pylons are gonna damage artifacts underneath the surface. Didn't they say that?
Sorry, I wasn't listening to your question because I was typing something for Johnny in the chat. What did you say, Kimmy?
I thought you said knocking down the pylons
Yeah.
will damage artifacts underneath the surface.
No more than the artifacts have already been damaged by them
Okay.
falling from the sky.
Falling from okay.
Yeah, because the method for the pylons being kind of put into the planet and forming Husui, the city, is they were dropped from orbit like rails right
Oh,
into the earth, and
But
the
the-
force of their fall slams them into the earth like enough of a position so that they have a foundational structure that's inserted in the earth, and then they just fill it up. Ready-made, building. However, they are made of a very strong material, right? Very hardened substance. But if a ship is traveling at sub-light speed, which is like the speed that you would travel from planet to planet, you're literally going like insanely fast, and the rules of physics become very complicated when you fly such a ship into a. If you've seen The Last Jedi, you kind of have an idea what I'm talking about. It's not full hyperdrive, but the effect is similar.
Okay, so I guess my where I'm kind of like lost in the weeds is like, did they already plan to like do this revolution and like obliterate the hegemonic uh presence here? And is it not aligned? Like, is it aligned with the greater rebel cause, or is it something that they were just kind of gonna do anyway?
That's a great question, and I want to look at that together as a group because it's something I've been pushing. It's a morality game, right? I love them; they're my favorite. Um, the people on Cogito were willing to murder women and children because they didn't have room for prisoners. But they kind of put themselves forward as kind of a victimized people, which again is not inaccurate. The Amish were taken by the Wutani. They were taken by the Star or the Starship Guild, and used against their will to perform manual labor. A nice way of saying slavery.
what?
The that's what happened to the Amish. The Amish were basically kind of put to not great agreement with the company and the guild, and were forced to do manual labor for them on their own planet in Cogito. They rebelled against that, and that's where you have the divide. The people who are fighting against them and are willing to do whatever they have to stop the hegemony, and sometimes they're willing to go beyond that as well, like with the people on the Magistrate of Iron, the civilians, the women and children. So that group has kind of a moral area where they feel like they are so in the right that they can do wrong, what most people would morally agree is wrong, so long as it's in the pursuit of their cause. Okay? When you met with Chemical Steven was very, very not happy about hearing about that. He asked you specifically, what did they do with the hegemonic prisoners? And you told him there were no prisoners. And he said, because of the crash? You said, no. They did the deed. So, Chemical Steven is more morally minded. He wants there to be kind of like a sane, rational route towards besting the hegemony. You just spoke with Josiah, and Josiah is a aggrieved individual, obviously. A lot has been going wrong, and he still, day to day, continues to search for relics, tries to get relics. But even in his description just then, he has turned to hegemonic practices to get at the goods inside of the like holds, because he's looking for a weapon that will help him against the hegemony. Is Josiah willing to kill children? Probably not. Like innocents that are not actually fighting him? Definitely not. He specifically said that anyone who tries to stop him, once they start to take the pylon, is an enemy, and he will deal with them as such. But he also said that it will be a ruthless process. Once the game starts for him, it is on. Period. And he's willing to do everything in his power to get House Hachi, and by extension, the hegemony, off planet. Period. So if you join up with Josiah, it is going to either be a very quick and very just raucous fight, or is going to be more likely a long, grueling, drag-out fight against House Hachi and the hegemony and its allies present on Parias. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jazz is...
Wait. So before you move on to the next beat, I just want to. So there's really no chance of like pivoting Josiah to like the chemical Steven approach, or like joining or collaborating with the Greater Rebellion. Like it
That's-
doesn't seem like it.
That's up to you. So, again, there might
Okay.
be, but it's not
Okay.
clearly evident, obviously.
Got it. I have to step away for 1 second.
No problem. I'm the only one on camera. It is just I. So, does anybody else have any thoughts? Hi, John. Does anybody else have any thoughts on that? Well, he's gone already. Anybody have any other thoughts regarding anything I just said? I do want to point out one other narrative beat there.
That's a nice hat.
I was gonna say, why do I get a little hat?
What is that?
That's a look at that.
How is it so tiny?
He's like a filter. It's like a filter
Hey, why
hat.
that?
It's like a little
Zoom.
filter.
I hate
hat.
this. I hate this.
Did it say Zoom on it?
It did say zoom on it.
It's a little zoom hat. It's
The
a little
little
zoom
zoom
hat.
hat.
That's all.
So the other point I wanted to make sure is clear. Very, very clear for the group. Captain Jazz has not gone away or one way or the other. Jazz is very fluid as a captain, and John, I appreciate the role playing as such. When Josiah just went, fuck them, burn them all, kill everybody, Jazz is like, yeah, okay, yeah. Back in the ship on the Magistrate of Iron, when it became realized that they were murdering women and children, he wasn't like, yeah, hell yeah. He was like, oh, fuck. But then he still went back to the rebel base, raised no issues about it, and just was like, okay. So it seems like Captain Jazz is the kind of person who sees hands getting dirty, but may not be one who's interested in getting his own hands dirty. I mean to say in the moral question. He is a passive moralist. So whether or not the group agrees with that mentality or not is up to you folks to roleplay. And now that you've all been kind of dragged together to one another to have a little kind of conversation amidst yourselves, feel free to do so.
Yeah, I'm an angel.
Adorbs. I'm gonna see if I.
Definitely. Please give me more input, like in character, like like a tap, hey captain, or tap, something like that. If you want to, have something go a certain way, or Jesus, try to, you know what I mean, right? Like, it doesn't have to just be what I say goes. I like to pick
Okay.
one. So definitely just be like, hey, tap, captain, right? But
So right now, are we chatting about our position on what? Oh my god!
what we want to do right now?
Wait, go back
cockatoo.
to the bunny. Go
These-
back to the bunny.
Focus up. Stop
Please
getting
take this
distracted.
seriously.
Please
Please take this
stop
seriously.
getting distracted. Focus up.
You always play a cop in our games, John.
Yeah, that's why I'm always morally gray, I guess. I don't know.
Props are not morally gray.
Look. I think he understands sometimes there's a means to an end, I guess, when it comes to the rebellion, but sure, was that a little bit extreme? Right, but the Magistrate of Iron's on the ground, or these people have been living in shit for however long, and this is an opportunity to get back. Of course they're mad. Of course they're angry, right?
So he wants to destroy and kill House Hachi, right? What's
Yeah,
to
which is
stop them from coming back and infiltrating the planet? Like, you might stop them for a little while, but they'll come back, right?
yeah, but wasn't there?
Is there anything else we could do differently? Like, what if we hold that prince prisoner and like try to negotiate? You can have him back, or we'll murder him for you to leave this planet alone. Like, is he worth
We
that
always,
much?
we could always take a hostage. I mean, we wouldn't be doing the blow the shit up out of their offices plan, but
But
um,
he might not like that. Steele wants to burn stuff down to the ground.
I totally get, 100% totally get it. Makes a bunch of sense based from where they're coming from.
But is the prince worth enough for them to leave this planet alone?
I guess we got to look back to why we're here initially. Nice fedora.
Well, the mission. Okay, are we like in character, like
Yes.
privately having a combo, basically? Okay. So I would say that our mission here is to leverage the strengths of the pilgrims for of um the greater liberation of the wait, are we in one galaxy? Yeah, of the galaxy, right?
Yeah.
Uh from hegemonic control. Their bloody war path through on this planet, may knock down hegemonic control a few pegs, but if the pilgrims can be integrated into a greater system of freedom fighters, I think that would have a greater net, it'd be a greater
Right.
net good. We have this key. It seems I greatly suspect that it may open either this vault that they're currently trying to drill into or another like it. We can use this as a carrot. I don't know that we're in any place to use a stick. Um, my thoughts are that if negotiations to have them join the greater cause fail, I think we may as well help them liberate their planet.
Mhm.
That helps the cause.
Yeah, because they definitely remember it if we help them do it.
That too.
No, I definitely think that that would be. And I mean, what are we gonna fucking do with that key when we leave, right? Like what?
There's like this like vision of like Lupita handing the key over to like the Reverend Mothers of the Ashtari cult. Oh, nothing, probably.
What do you think about there? Something on your mind?
Nothing, probably.
Okay. Um.
I see as a key to a vault of treasure.
Right. Which will be there for if we. I mean, if we give it to them, we're gonna go with them. So. Um.
Well, they've made it clear they're not interested in sharing our artifacts.
Yeah, it's fair.
And if we give them this key, or if we trade for this key, what we want from them, as far as the mission is concerned, is collaboration, not necessarily
Stuff.
a right.
which I understand. No, stuff is great, but I think sometimes we, even I will admit, get a little lost on. Um, I think it would be a good idea to, since we can't communicate out, we could leave. We could come back. We could help them with the vaults. Help them out that way. What are we thinking as a group?
I have a small fear that there's some full-grown night beasts around. Have you felt anything, Lupita? Because if they were out here looking for eggs, then there's gotta be mamas and daddies on the planet too, right?
Well, I've done some kind of short range um feeling, and I haven't noticed anything remotely like a night beast. However, the silt storm that they've caused from their drilling is making it hard to see things clearly.
I just would like to get out of here. Do what we gotta do to get out of here.
Tarash, Orin,
Yeah.
you folks have been pretty quiet. You got any thoughts on the current developing circumstances?
I'm just, I don't want to say it, but I'm just trying to figure out how I want to say it. I got stuff in my mind, but not sure how to.
Drop it.
Mm.
Putting it out in the ether lets other people help you form the thoughts a little bit better.
Yeah, out there.
Well, well, we just wanted to like, if there's any like innocent bystanders that's just caught in the, you know, crossfire of this. That's what Turash doesn't want to prevent. He wants to like, for him personally, attack the enemy head on. But if there's anybody innocent that gets caught, he wants to do anything he can to prevent that. Yeah. He'll probably do what Captain. He's not gonna feel good about it, but if the group consensus of doing this mission, he's going to do it, but he's not gonna do it like in good conscience. If it's actively putting others who didn't ask to be in that position in the first place to be, you know,
Tarash just
in the crossfire. Yeah. Exactly. Because I'm pretty sure they didn't ask to be there. They didn't want that life to be, you know.
Exactly.
But
they're just like Tarash was not too long ago, being forced into a situation they don't want to be in.
and for them to die for the actions they had no control over,
What's wrong?
to him, it's problem.
People die in all across the galaxy every day.
Yes, I know that's, but it's just that's something I always wanted to try to stop. You know, why can't we just do it one-on-one, mano a mano? No, we have to bring all others down with us. It's cosmic war of freedom. I guess that's something we might have to do, but it's just hard, you know.
You have a gentle soul for such a tough dude.
Thank you, but I mean, if we're gonna do this, I don't think I'll be kind soul that you think I am.
Then maybe there's still a possibility of talking him out of murdering the innocents. Can always try.
I mean, mean, we can try, but sounds like because they want to like crash the ship into a pylon that goes to, another pylon, and that's bound to kill, you know, uh, bystanders, presumably many of them. Again, if you think that's what's best, then I'm for it, but I won't be too happy.
Right.
And what about you, Oren? Is he on puppy duty?
Sorry. I don't think Orin has significant moral quandary with it. Like, frankly, whatever gets the hegemony down.
Yeah.
And frankly, if we could learn more about artifacts and bots, he's gonna tend to lean towards investigating the pylons if given the choice, but isn't gonna fight strongly one way or the other.
Gotcha. He'll do the
Yeah,
job.
would steal it all just be like, hey, that's a cooler artifact right there,
Oh,
or would that?
no, he hasn't commented on your Urbot at all.
Huh.
No.
Yeah, you
Okay.
haven't met with all of the people, but again, he may not understand what he's looking at.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. I also didn't go into the meeting. I stayed out.
Correct.
That's right.
Hmm.
And
So-
I believe he would have probably thrown on like garments to move in like a hiking out in the field, especially with like silt and dirt and the like. So he may not be just like robot,
Yeah, like
full on robot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty like standard position, a neutral position on it. But like you kind of understand that you have the key to an vault, and they're trying to break into an vault. Now, whether or not that's something that would pique Orin's interest, kind of seeing these two things this close, is up to you. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something I think Jijo as a player is thinking about.
Yeah.
I just think that they don't want to, kind of utilize it because they feel like the pilgrims are going to take everything it's in there for themselves. And then I do like Kimmy's thought process on it too. That's a very interesting one. I won't say whether or not it's true or not, but yeah, it could just be the case that there's night beasts everywhere, maybe even inside of that thing. Who knows?
And frankly, Orin's not opposed to like turning on this guy either once we get like into the
Yeah.
pylons or whatever. Like,
Just straight up killing the pilgrims.
just like fuck them. They killed all those women and children. Orin does not care. He's just more interested in finding more information on the artifacts or bots in general.
Makes sense.
That's his priority. But he'll follow the captain's orders.
And I guess we got some commentary from Zelry, but not really like Zelry's thoughts on this whole thing. Like obviously Zelry as a treasure hunter, kind of someone who's concerned with getting finances. That's definitely a goal, right? But like, what are your thoughts on like the whole cause overarching kind of situation?
I think for her, like, she definitely sees the hegemony as bad and what they're doing is bad, right? But at the same time, this guy wants to do just as much bad, and I don't know. I kind of want to kill him. Thinking that, I was thinking, what if the other people here don't feel the same way he does, and he just feels very strongly in one way, and it's just what he thinks and not what the group thinks.
Well,
I think that's a great point.
Interesting.
I'm going to tell
That's
you
interesting.
something about him that you could clock that will definitely kind of give you an idea as to how he operates. His playbook is speaker. If that helps you understand how he makes things happen.
He a manipulating ass.
Mhm.
Got it.
I'm not saying a damn thing about that. I'm just giving you words.
You
And
gave me
a
what you gave
vibe,
me, and that's what I'm.
and I read
That's
it
how I'm
as
reading
I
it.
read it.
Because I definitely feel a lot like Tarash. Like, I don't feel like unnecessary murder. I feel like everybody has a place and you shouldn't murder unnecessary. And, like, that's why I was thinking, like, what if we kidnap the prince and use him to, like, not,
Oh,
the other people won't come here and type of thing. But
that was a beat too that I wanted to point out. Sorry for cutting you off there, Kimmy. I just want to make sure
that's
that
fine.
this is something because I've been trying to implement this all series, and I just want to make sure it's something that is very well minded in the group. The hegemony's control in the Dracia sector, or Dracia system, is limited only to one planet, Parias. They cannot move their capital ships easily into the space because the ring that connects Breck to Dracia, itty bitty tiny tiny. And it's not a resizable one like the one between, I think it's, what is it, Breck and Holt. Yeah, that one can change shapes. And then the Rin to Breck one is just fucking massive. Oh, sorry, there's no connection between Breck and Holt. Apologies. The Holt and Rin is the resizable rings. The Rin to Breck is the just big motherfucking ring. And then the ring from here, or from Breck to Dracia, is itty bitty tiny. And not easily kind of pass through. That makes sense?
Yep.
So there's kind of a limitation of the hegemonic response. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's not
the
worth it.
best, I guess the best thing, because we're on Parias right now.
Correct. This is where all of the
So,
hegemony is.
and if these people, now I'm not trying to, I know they're people, but they're willing to take care of it themselves. And then Jazz just kind of shrugs. They take care of it in their way. It's what they want, and it helps everybody out.
We don't know it's what everybody wants. We just know it's what
Well,
people wants.
right, and we can kind of gauge that as we got a couple days. We could look at the vault, right? One.
Yeah.
We got three other people to talk to, right?
And possibly
we
more.
can kind of, and possibly more. We got time right
So-
now down here.
It sounds like we're not going to settle on anything, but it does sound like, from what I can hear, Lupita is down for whatever, right? Like, she will murder everyone. That's really just inconsequential. It sounds like that's the case. Am I right in that assumption, Gijo? Kind of like,
Yeah, Lupita really doesn't care whichever way it runs.
right.
I think her kind of stated goal, or what she would kind of advocate for, is like whatever will serve the greatest good of the galaxy. If that means every man, woman, and child in this pylon dies, then whatever. Who gives a
In the
shit?
whole damn city. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Zelri does not want to enact evils that the hegemony would enact on people, and she has kind of gradiated herself to a line. But at the same point there, Zelri is also very much interested in self-empowerment through means of wealth. Is that a fair statement, Kimmy?
Yeah, true. But I also don't like that steel guy. I feel
I get
I
the wrong
don't like
vibes from
him.
Josiah Steele, okay? And she hates that motherfucker Steele. Got it.
yeah.
All right. Tarash is, if the captain says shoot, Tarash shoot, because he trusts Captain Jazz, but he also gets bad vibes because he does not want to put people who don't deserve it at risk. Fair?
Yep.
Orin don't care unless he want ergo burr. Correct?
Basically,
And
he nailed it in 4 words.
Captain
Ergo
Jazz
burr.
Go burr.
Captain Jazz is very much kind of a neutral party, a centrist, if you will, who is very much focused on if
Disgusting.
these individuals are willing to do a thing, and I may not like the thing, but if the end result serves me and the quote unquote cause, I'm for it. But also, I will look down on them because of their methods, like I did when I was talking with Steven about the Cogito people. Fair?
Mm,
You're like, I mean, you read me right, but I don't like it.
yes, yeah. I guess he's the women and children are worrying some, but he understands the means to the end.
Also, yeah, Jazz, I think, is kind of a prisoner of circumstance, right? Like, this guy
Yeah,
has way more numbers than you and will be helpful towards your end, so he kind of gets the choice to drive, right?
right. But he also completely understands why he's doing it
Sure.
and doesn't blame him for doing it
Sure.
or thinking that way.
Yeah. He doesn't himself, but he can understand how someone could slip down that slope.
Right.
Okay. So, for those who are we have that. If anybody wants to kind of further any communications regarding anybody, you can do so in the kind of group meeting. Or if you'd like to kind of take somebody aside to have a conversation, that's also possible. And the other thing is you have the opportunity to meet with one of the 3 NPCs we've mentioned, plus Josiah Steele is also on the docket if you want to talk to him. And then there are a couple of activities we've kind of mentioned. There's the Vault and the like. So we're kind of just focusing on directionality. We're still technically on mission. So there are going to be calls for action when I get to them. But at the main kind of beat, we're mostly just kind of vibing through shot for shot, kind of like, camera 1, camera 2, over people's shoulders as we get into conversational beats. I'm going to start with Oren. Is there anything that has been kind of put onto the docket, any player character or NPC that you think Oren would want to go to and speak to? Or is there anything that you want to engage in or do?
I don't think so. Which way is the captain leaning in all of this? Is kind of what Oren would say out loud to the whole group. What are your thoughts on everything that's been said, Cap? You kind of know how we all feel. Do we need to argue one way or the other? What are we still debating?
Um, yeah, definitely got all your inputs. I guess
We doing this thing?
I think we should start with the vault
Okay.
since we have a key. What are we gonna do with this key when we leave?
How about we don't tell them we have the key yet? We just go look at this vault and see.
Yes, so maybe we should go talk to Jesse.
All right. So Captain and Oren are focused on going and speaking to the way user. I'm going to go ahead and move to Tarosh. Again, we've got Jesse, the way user, Brady, the architect, Drav, the gatherer. We've got Josiah, the leader, and there's other NPCs who are present. Anything that Tarosh is kind of focusing in on, or are you sticking with the captain?
Probably stick with the captain to see what he has to say.
Okay, understandable. Kimmy, same positive question.
Nope. I want to go talk to Drav.
Okay, very cool. We'd love to see it. And I think that circles back to Jijo.
Yeah, definitely want to talk to Jesse.
Jesse. Okay, so it looks like most of the crew is going to Jesse, and Kimmy is going to Drav. So we'll deal with that first. When you get to like asking people about him, they tell you that he has set up shop in an old building just down the way. It's about a block and a half away from where the drilling system is kind of in place. As you kind of move to that location, you would note that there's a very strange aspect of the grounds that you're on. The pathway that you're led down seems to run sidelong, a very massive metal passageway that's kind of jutting out of the ground a bit. It's almost like just covered in dirt on its sides and kind of coming up out of the ground. The metal appears to be similar to what you could see of the Vault, and from what you can tell, it terminates just near where you're going to. As you kind of make your way over there, you would see that it terminates at some sort of strange-looking door. And from what you can tell, this like long pillar or long hallway rather, kind of stretches out from the larger structure that makes up the hill that has kind of the build-up on it and where the people are all kind of parked up there. Through the spaces on the rubble nearby, up on top of the hall or the passageway, there are small tents. There's like lean-tos that have been set up, all different places. And you look inside and you can see, people just kind of living their lives. There's family structures. It looks like there's people who are kind of, here and have been living here for a while. Some of them look like they might have been living here for, a few decades, since that's as long as they've, been down here. And they all kind of give you a very suspicious look. You finally make it to where you were told to go to speak to Drab. And when you get there, he is a gaunt-looking fellow. He has a leather aviator's cap on his head. It looks like it has a number of weird metal kind of rods kind of seated inside of it that kind of jut up from his head like a crown. And there's a pair of goggles. Looks like the glasses have been replaced with metal panels, which you would recognize as a very strange but makeshift like med scanner that allows you to kind of see like X-ray vision effectively. He has a number of tools on a tool belt that he wears, and he's wearing overalls, but no undershirt that you can see. He is covered with dirt, and the chamber that he's in is kind of just a knocked out first floor of a building that has no floors above it. Almost as if someone toppled the building over, just like pushed it over, and only like the bottom floor remains. He looks over at you and says, "Oh, hey, stranger. Can I help you with something?"
Yeah, are you Drab?
"That's me. I'm Drab. Who are you?"
I'm Celery.
"Celery, huh? Were you with
Yeah,
that strange shuttle out there in the fields?"
I am with that strange shuttle.
"Very cool. You got attacked by the hegemony, I heard. It's a poor bit of luck, but it sounds like you scrapped through it."
That hegemony is why I've come to find you.
"Oh,
Uh,
yeah? I'm not with
when,
them. Are you?"
no, of course
"Oh,
not.
okay. Yeah, I just didn't understand the meaning." "What do you
Well,
mean? Why you're here about that?"
it's what they were carrying. Um,
"Oh,
when
yeah?
we found them, they're carrying these strange backpacks that
Strange
act.
backpacks." He kind of goes, "Strange backpacks. Hold on." And he kind of runs over to like a massive clutter and like shelves that are like spilling out all over the floor with like wires and pipes, tubes. There's like bags of food seated in one corner. He kind of shuffles through some stuff like a person who knows what they're looking for. And then he drags out the torso portion of a hegemonic soldier's like uniform, and it's pretty damn close to the one that you saw on those soldiers with the backpack still attached. It looks like there's a large blaster hole in the chest plate, and they probably peeled it off the guy. But yeah, it looks pretty identical. Not the same ones that you saw out there for sure, but like the same make and model, right? And he pulls it out. He's like this?
Yeah,
Yeah. He
yeah,
goes,
pretty cool.
"I've been trying to get this thing open for, oh man, better part of a few cycles. Do you know how to open it?"
I don't, but I could try to help. Is it heavy? Does it feel like there's something in there though?
"I don't know, because it's made out of metal, and probably plasteel. You could check if you want to."
Is this metal kind of like X-rayable?
No, he would say he's tried to kind of see inside of it. He's also been trying to get the access codes or try to open it. Out of character, it being the same kind of case as the one that you have had access to, you kind of have an understanding as to how it opens, so you could crack it.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay. You kind of look at it and go, oh wait, hold on. Beep bop boop bop 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 beep. Beep bop. Beep 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 beep. Steam comes out, and to your horror, inside is a lipped egg.
Oh God.
Yeah, lipped eggs.
Lipped egg.
You know,
Eggamon.
I really thought we were free.
The immediate feeling of
No,
kind of like not just the horror, right, but also there's like a sensation, right? The way is being warped once it's opened, which leads you to believe that the other one that you had was malfunctioning because that vibe was present even when you had it in the case. This one seems to have kept that weird way distortion sealed. Do you immediately shut it, or do you like take a gander at it?
I shut it immediately.
Okay, and you
Oh.
quickly kind of hit some buttons on it and realize that it seals. The other one did not do this. The original case, you hear a, and then you see that there are level markers, and then like after a second or two of no touching the console, it kind of goes into sleep mode. But you can kind of interact with it if you want to check the levels. They didn't have a display device on the last one.
And this will tell me if like how long it can stay dormant.
It says it's contained, so it seems to have a marker that notates it as contained. You don't know exactly what that means, but based on what you know of the Night Beast, it means that it's probably not like able to slurp juice.
Yeah. Drab, have you seen one of these egg creatures before?
No, absolutely not. What was that? He shrugs. Never seen
This-
anything like it. Looked like a plant, but not.
No, this is very dangerous, and this is what I was worried about. When that thing hatches, even before it hatches, it can start sucking the life force out of nearby people.
What?
And I don't know what it does when it does hatch, but you might want to give this to your way user
Okay.
or get rid of it. But I would not open
Well,
this.
I didn't
Again.
even know how to open it, and I wasn't paying attention when you did it. So if you want to keep it, you can have it. I'm not using it. It was just gaining dust back there in the back. It's all yours, miss.
No.
Yes,
I don't
we have
want
the
it.
egg bag.
Alright, I'm gonna take it. But
Okay.
Yes.
He will kind of help you kind of detach it from the like the armor, the trooper armor, and it kind of comes off with like a click, a nice kind of satisfying kind of detachment sound, and then you have the case and egg. Do you have anything else you want to talk to Drav about?
I know how to kill these things, right? Before they hatch. Did we
Bite their
talk
heads off, I think was the.
No, no. Wasn't there like a way out? No, maybe there wasn't a way I could kill it.
No,
earlier.
there wasn't.
I would just tell Drav like, if you, I've been kind of concerned seeing the hedge when we saw the cases if these creatures might be around, because I really don't, they're not good in egg form. They're not going to be good as when they hatch.
Well, I'll tell you, they've been focused in on like most of their control efforts, and we've been pushed back quite a bit out here into the wildlands. But I remember when we first started getting attacked, and they did the raids, it wasn't ever out this far. I mean, sure they did some orbital strikes and some stuff like that. We could see that coming a mile away and prepare for it. But when they first started in on us, it's almost like they were corralling us off the territory around the Marish pylon. They used sleek guns. Those things are as illegal as fuck. Out of character, Zelry's knowledge in military is determined by you. So if you want to know what a sleek gun is, you
Zero. With zero.
then it sounds neat.
Yeah.
You would know what sleet is. Sleet is like frozen ice and rain.
But they corralled you here, and then
Yeah, sure enough. And, well, they pushed us back. I mean, they didn't corral us specifically to this location, but it seems like they were very interested in setting up a perimeter around the Marish pylon. Like, more so than with any of the other pylons that dropped. Like, I remember when the Comet's pylon fell, and, well, it crushed my my mammy's house dead on. Her house was right underneath where it hit. Luckily, we knew it was coming, so it's not like she was in there or anything. I think she's living there now. But anyway, dropped out of the sky, slammed right on there, and they didn't really send out patrols because they were pretty, satisfied with their security of the pylon itself. But with the Marish pylon, I don't think they were thinking we were going to breach it or anything. It just felt like they were trying to set up a perimeter around it for whatever reason. Haven't really been back lately, but the scouts say, and the outriders say that they still have those electric fences.
to keep y'all in here.
No, to keep us out at the Marish pylons, like
keep up Marish.
around there. Don't know why they're doing that though, because Marish pylon's not even like an important pylon. It's not the Hachi pylon. It's not the center of Hisui. It's not. It's on the outskirts of the city, really. It doesn't have the spaceport like Kamas does. So I don't understand why they're so protective of it, but maybe it has something to do with your eggs.
Maybe. I just How long have you guys been out here in this location?
Oh, this location? 4 years. About 4 years. In and around here, there was an vault that had some really interesting weaponry in it. Closer to the Marish pylon, and really turned the tide for us, kind of allowing us to retreat. So they had what did Jesse say they were called? Light blades, and there was also a conduit stone. I don't know what that is. But yeah, she and her friends used them to great use, but a lot of her friends passed in the efforts. But we made it back out this way, and we've been, fine for the better part of a year and a half. Not too much hegemonic problems. A couple of stupid scouts who kind of stumble into our traps, but nothing more.
How do you feel about Steel wanting to destroy all the pylons?
Oh, is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, he's probably just, blowing it out his ass, really. It's not a really good idea, House Hachi is favored enough to be left alone out here in this system, so pretty sure that's the way we should just let it be, right? I'm not a fan of the hegemony. Don't think I'm a sympathizer or nothing.
No.
But we've been left to our own ends, for the better part of, a cycle and a half, right? So just keep doing our business, and if we want to get off world, we'll just find our way into the Comet's pylon, find ourselves a schmuck who's willing to let us board, and we'll head into the core planets with all of our loot and our treasure. No big deal.
So for you, you would just let things stay the way they are.
I'm not much of a fighter. I'll be honest. I know that when the Marish pylon situation happened, it was Josiah who led the efforts in fighting back and defending the folks. He's a good man, but I think he's got a lot of rules. And I think most of those rules are in place to just kind of check himself, not so much everybody else around it, Like maybe he did some shit when he was younger. I think he's like, 50, 60 cycles old now? Kind of a long-toothed fella.
Does anybody else feel the same way as him around here?
I don't know. We kind of keep to ourselves, do our job. We kind of interact in that way, but we're not very sociable folk out here in the wildlands. It's kind of sad, but we're very determined, focused on the the task at hand. Like, I mean, you should know. I mean, you're probably from the core worlds or whatever, right? Or maybe somewhere like in the Procyon sector, a little nicer than Dracia. Yeah. I'm just saying you look nice, ma'am. I'm not trying to say you're like a you know.
Is he trying to fuck?
No. No, he's trying to be. He's trying to say that she looks
awkward.
like she doesn't belong here because she doesn't look.
No, I know. It was just awkward. Like, I'm not trying to.
It's okay. I understand what you're saying.
Obviously,
Um,
he's socially awkward. Okay.
For a split second, though, I thought he was gonna say, "Are you a clone?" And
No,
I was
know,
gonna be
I
like,
know.
"Oh shit!"
he
thought
doesn't.
it was.
He doesn't know that shit.
I know.
But so herb relics aren't cheap, and folks are willing to pay good money for them. Sweet treasures out here. Kind of walks over to a box. It kind of shakes it, kind of shows you the insides, and there's all these small, strange little metal discs with perforations on the sides, kind of turned upwards, and they're painted red on one side with this very strange logo and like writing on it. And he goes, all sorts of treasures. Shake, shake, shake. These would probably go for like, I don't know, 5, 10 creds a piece, maybe. I don't know. People are crazy out there in the core worlds for this kind of stuff.
Interesting.
And out of character for visual purposes, it's a bunch of bottle caps. It's just a bunch of bottle caps. But they, in your mind, in character, bottle caps aren't a thing. They are very fancy looking herb relics.
When he says how much they're worth, I'm like, interested.
Kill, take, just drop the
When
night
do you
piece,
go to
drop the
bed?
night piece on him. It did it.
I
It
heard
did
that,
it.
John. He said, when do you go to bed? Oh,
I'm not into killing anybody except the ones that have the loot. But yeah, he says that he's very interested in kind of getting as much as he can haul back with him, and getting back into the kind of like interior worlds, maybe as far in as like the whole system, just to sell it and make a life for himself.
all right. Well, I thank you for talking with me today.
Yeah, enjoy the egg. Gonna cut from the scene. Cut to folks walking up on Jessie. As a whole ass crew, just everybody just marching up on her. She, after your conversation, has moved away from there and seems to be seated at a very specific point away from the drill as they continue the drilling. She's in the effectively the lotus position, and her hands are kind of off to the side, like she kind of greeted you before. As you approach, her eyes kind of flicker open and she looks over to you. Can I help you folks with something?
Greetings, sister. We are trying to understand the community better as we try to support the struggle of the greater galaxy for liberation. We want to know how to um, put our strengths forward in a way that will really matter. And, we just wanted to talk a little bit about what it's like here, what your experiences here have been, and what you think about, coming conflicts that could happen with the hegemonic powers here.
I am understanding that there is a problem here on the surface. It's been this way ever since the pylons fell. I understand that my original purpose here was very different than it has been shifted to. I am very unhappy that the voice is unable to allow me access to the door. And I feel that the more I sit, the more I focus, the less I am doing.
You came here specifically to gain access into the vault.
Yes.
Hmm.
I am also seeking things that are present here that I need to deal with.
The night beasts.
Do you know of the night beasts? And out of character note, quick, hold on, sorry. I need you to make, you don't need to make any rolls. Sorry, my D&D brain was just explaining to you. She basically just locked the two of you into kind of a way tunnel. And when she spoke, you know that you were the only person that heard her question. You also feel like you are being compelled to answer. And so you would recognize her as a night speaker.
I don't love being compelled to do anything,
Again, it doesn't seem
but
like
okay.
it doesn't seem like it's a compelling you. It doesn't seem like it's working on you, which
Okay.
is why there's no kind of like engagement there. It just feels like she has used the way to kind of like elucidate a response.
To pull. Okay.
Correct.
I mean, I'm straightforward and generous, but I'm also don't feign like I'm being pulled by her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes, we have, and if I speak, I want all of my comrades to hear me.
Yeah. So
Can I do that? Or
you break it, and
okay,
so
yeah.
kind of just for everybody else, what happens is the question is asked, or the night beasts is what
Hmm.
Lupita says. Then there's this moment where she kind of turns and they look at each other for a moment. Then you hear this echoing voice as it kind of shatters say, "What do you know of the night beasts? What do you know of the night beasts? What do you know of the night beasts?" Which would not have been heard if Lupita didn't break the tunnel. And then Lupita responds.
Uh, we've had our run-ins with it, with one iteration of it anyway. Um, we may we may be able to uh we may be able to support your endeavors. Um, we'll have to do a little bit of homework. Um,
Explain
shouldn't
yourself.
take long.
And she says that kind of very sternly, still just sitting with her hands wide and in like a very vulnerable looking position. She says to you when you kind of speak in vaguities, explain yourself.
I hope that you can understand that for the safety of my crew, of the crew that I serve, I have to be vague for now. I'm interested in helping. I'm interested in supporting the advancement of the learning of artifactory and discovering the mysteries of the way.
What does that
But
have to do with the night beasts?
oh, the night beasts. That part, I don't know if I can help you with that. I
I
just
do
meant
not
the
need help
vault.
with it. I need to know what you know about it so I can better defend and combat against them. So far as to say I've been able to ward them off, but I think my powers are fleeting. In
Hmm.
time, the creatures will pass beyond the shadows and make their way into this camp. And from my understanding, they will leech every single bit of way that is breathed by these individuals and sup their souls.
Okay, so everyone's hearing that.
Oh, yeah,
Yes. Okay. Who's with me?
yeah.
With
Everybody
us?
but Zelry.
Everybody but Zoe. Okay. So, okay. Well, I certainly did not, mean to imply that we're experts on the matter.
The voice kind of
Um,
like triggers back in for a second, and you can feel like an empathic like annoyance. And she says, without it breaking into a tunnel, just kind of the resonation, she
mhm.
says, "If you wanted to speak in private, you should have allowed me my access."
No, I don't want to speak in private to you, babe.
She smiles and she kind of reaches up and pulls her shawl off and kind of lets her hood drop. And you kind of see that her head is completely shaven. She has tattoos over the top of her head that seem to be kind of depictions of strange black beasts on her head. And it looks like her kind of just entire visage is very I would say Dommy Mommy is probably the best way I can describe the way she just looks at you once her shawl is off. She just kind of looks at you kind of like with a grin that kind of shows a bit of malice and a little bit of uncomfortability. And she says, "Yo may be here for the night beasts. I am not. I've had my fill of them. I am here for what resides in that." And she gestures towards the relic, the thing that they're drilling into.
If we can help you get in there,
You have the
can,
key. She doesn't ask. She says with
right,
certainty.
right. Yeah. If we can, and
Oh,
Lupita will hold up her hand like, Captain, shut the fuck up. If we can help you get in, she disregards you have the key. Um, we negotiate some kind of support from you? Um, I'm certain that what we want to do, and she looks like to the captain and the others, is
And as you kind of turn your
leverage the
attention from
key.
her, you can kind of feel
Uh-huh.
the way kind of maneuver in her space. And Jazz, you're kind of like turning to look at Lupita and then kind of looking back at this girl. She looks directly at you, Captain Jazz, and she says, and no one else can hear it because she locks in on him, "Do you have the key? And if so, show it to me." And you feel, unlike Lupita, absolutely compelled to do so.
do I have the key?
I don't know who has it, but you do know.
I don't
who
know
has it.
either. Do I?
Pretty sure you had it.
It's just sitting on the ship on like his end
You didn't
table.
bring it with you? I thought you guys said you brought it with you.
No, we didn't. I'm just kidding. Let's see if I put it in my notes.
Didn't someone say they brought it with them? I'm pretty sure that happened, right?
So, yeah,
Johnny.
someone brought it.
Yeah, it was John.
Was it John?
I'm pretty sure it was John.
Is it me?
Yeah, you had it. You had control of the thing, didn't you? Or did Lupita hold on to it?
Flashback.
It's
I'm trying to remember who
Because I think
had
Lupita
it.
handed it over to Jazz reluctantly
Flashback.
and said, "Yeah, hold on to it if you want to." Flashback. Okay, so flashback. The key is sitting on the table. Lupita, Tarash, and Jazz are in the room. Who picks it up as you're doing loadouts? One of you has to.
my loadout's heavy right now. I can't.
Can't even carry it. He looks at his pockets,
Nope.
too full. Becco did not take the damn key. Shut up, Elizabeth.
Yeah, Becco got it. Yeah, Becco had it.
Becco is not in the flashback. You can't have a flashback if you're dead.
I have room.
No!
I can take it.
Lupita has it. So what do you say, Jazz, in response? Again, compelled.
If I have it, to give it to her, right?
No, she says, Do you have the key? And if so, show it to me."
And then he like kind of like pats his pockets, like looks through his like overcoat, and he just no.
Okay. So
What?
This ball-headed did not just.
she will break the tunnel, kind of snapping the two. Lupita, you are aware that something happened. Jazz, you don't remember the last few seconds.
Push my fucking captain.
She turns and looks at you, Lupita. You were saying,
I believe that. Oh God. Okay.
what
wait.
assurances are you seeking?
Lupita, you look angry there.
Yeah,
What's the matter?
Tarash.
Going on.
Uh.
Mm,
Okay. Let me. Okay, first, I don't do I know what the knights? Oh shit, the
Night
night
Speakers are
speaker.
mystics with dark proclivities bent on finding a set of dangerous precursor artifacts.
They're naughty. Okay.
They're basically like if Indiana Jones and Darth Maul were one.
Okay.
We were worried about steel.
Actually, you know what? Forget. Yeah, I'd say Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is probably the
Mm.
best bet.
Yeah, thank you. So, well, okay, um so I would say so I would know that they don't really have any interest in like the greater good.
Don't give a shit.
Not really. Okay. So, in exchange for access to the vault, it may be helpful for us, of course, for you to continue to protect this camp against the night beasts, and also to help us convince the people of this camp to integrate into the greater rebellion, and to become part of the formalized resistance against the hegemony.
She stands up. She does so without putting her hands to the ground. She's still keeping her hands out to the side. She just very kind of creepily stands up on like one leg and then kind of settles her next foot next to it. Looks at you and says, "If what I seek is in this vault, I do not care about this group any longer. I have sought for a very long time to acquire something that I know is on this planet. Their efforts to pierce the vault, if they are in vain, we will try other things. Secretly, I convince them to do this every single day. When we were attacked by the hegemony, it was my efforts that protected us from their efforts to keep us away from things that might prove necessary. And I'm certain that their naive and pointed efforts are to receive things that will combat people like you and people like me. Have you ever considered what would happen if you were to engage a group that were able to, with a switch of a button, turn on a field that nullifies everything you know to be power?"
Is that what lies in that vault?
The night beasts. The
Oh, the night.
enemies.
Okay. Well, yeah. Wait, is that what's in the tower? In the
No,
and
out of
that's what's in
character.
the, oh,
This will click
vault.
for you in character.
Okay.
If you have a backpack that has a seal, and if you turn the seal off, the night beast energy emits from it. You
Yeah.
effectively have created yourself a shield that stops way users from fighting you.
Right. Okay, I know that. I get that.
She is saying, there may be something within that space that would aid me, but I know for certain
Mhm.
the thing I seek is somewhere here, closer to the Comus pylon.
Okay. Um.
If you have a means of entering the vault, show it to me. Then I will make agreements with you. You do
It's
not
okay
have
if
to.
you're not ready to make an agreement. I need to talk to my crew. We'll
You
be
should.
back.
As you're kind of moving
Yeah.
over and away, you would see that walking along the way, like up the ridge past this base, is a very familiar person to your group, Valerie, part of your crew. And she is carrying one of those fucking cases.
It's a backpack. I'd be wearing it.
Well, no. They snatched it off the.
Oh,
It
yeah,
clicks to
yeah.
the armor, yeah. Well, unless you wanted the armor, did you want to take that, or are you already wearing armor?
No.
Okay, so then it'll be 2 slots on your load. So whatever
Oh,
that will do to change it.
okay.
So
Backpack it
you're
is.
carrying it
She's
backpack
she's wearing
style.
the chest plate of a hegemonic trooper, and she has the same backpack they had, the ones that you murdered on the tank.
Oh no, I'm not gonna wear it because it's gonna. I don't want people to mistake me for the hegemon.
Okay, then just the thing.
Just the thing, and it's still 2 slots, right?
It
Eh,
would just be 1 slot for just the case.
Oh,
Carrying
okay.
it like a baby.
Aw.
It's big and weird, but it's like not super heavy.
Uh,
Hey guys, look what I got.
She
Whoa.
hits the button, it shows that it's contained, and there's one in there.
Oh, it's another one.
Yeah, so definitely night beasts around here.
oh my god. Yes, well, Zelry, the other bald
Oh, if you gesture
way
over to
user.
her, it's all back on. Like you didn't see
She's
it.
not gesturing. She's just like doing that thing with like her eyes like looking
And bald shaming. Yeah, I got you.
bald. Uh
So
that
sassy.
bald way user is keeping this camp safe from the night beasts. I think that's my my initial um God damn it, Jonathan. The it seems like just keeping the camp safe from the night beasts. So, as much as I would love to just knock her over the head and get her out of the way, um, I don't know if it'll be safe for everyone. My first thought is to evacuate the camp, um, and then either I don't know. I really don't know anymore. I feel like this mission is becoming more clouded with uh, moral and ethical questions. Um, who knows why that's happening, but it is.
Well, I spoke to Drav, and he's not on board with the whole Captain Steel's plan. He's fine with how things are. Yeah, he wants to one day get off planet, but he doesn't have any problems with the way things are right now.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like that lady. She made you angry for a moment. I don't know what it was, but
Yeah, Captain Tarash, you're right. To avoid escalation, I didn't say anything right away, but Captain, she did push you, using the way. It's very impolite to do that.
Oh, huh.
Um,
Yeah, I don't
s-
remember that.
I imagine not. It would have been
Yep.
grounds for fire, opening fire on her at that moment. But if she's keeping the night beasts away, it might be um, slip and slide to do that.
how can we be sure she's telling the truth about that?
I didn't detect deception when I was talking to her out of character. I wasn't looking for it.
It's also not there, yeah.
Did
She,
I think she was caught off guard by us knowing about the night beasts at all. It appears like she was pretty straightforward about what she's been doing and her intentions.
I mean, she did say she didn't care for the people here. But did she say that out loud or
Yeah.
telepath?
Yeah,
She said they're
Oh
not
yeah, I
important
heard
to
that.
her, just the objective that she has. She's been doing this for decades. They are a means to an end. She's not going to kill them all.
Yeah, that's
She's not really friends with them. She's just coworkers.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but
like yeah, she will fuck off if
So-
she gets what she got.
right,
To be sure,
right, yes.
Tarash, that she's not evil towards them. She's
Mhm.
neutral towards them, right? She's not like going to murder them all, or she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to see them murdered right now because they're useful to her.
Yeah.
But what I kind of what I added up from what she was saying is that like if she gets what she wants, she's fucking off and dropping her protection. Like that's what I assumed.
That's a possibility. There's no certainty on that one way or the other.
She didn't seem like the type of person that would be like, "All right, everybody, let me escort you out of the danger zone. I got what I
No,
want."
more
No.
so that's not in there.
Yeah.
You could
Mhm.
ask her what her intention would be after she acquires what she's looking for. It's up to you.
That's
But
just what we did. She said
there's- she when she has it, she's leaving. She didn't say what she was going to
Yeah.
do with the people, though.
Oh well. Okay.
What does she want?
That's also a
She
great question.
wants, well, I mean, she seems to want whatever's in the vault.
What
And
could be
I
in the
don't,
vault?
That's a good way of putting it. Correct. She doesn't
what
know for
could be in
certain.
the vault.
She doesn't know if it's in here or not.
Oh, okay. And the other thing is that the other thing is that, oh man, my brain is rapidly losing integrity.
All
Okay, I
breached. All
think that's
breached.
all I had.
Okay.
Trav said that they previously opened a vault and it drastically helped them against the hegemony. It had was it light swords, John? Is that what
Yeah,
you said?
and you would note that Jesse was the one who led the defenses on helping them survive the hegemonic attack with light blades and a conduit, a way conduit.
With what they found in the previous vault that they opened.
I see.
So
Okay.
it could be a good thing. I don't know if you want to interrogate her more to make sure she takes care of these people before. I mean, if you want to open the vault here or not, or try and see if the key works. But it did help them. The vault did help them previously.
Okay. Well, it seems like opening this vault could result in a net good. We can maybe we can extract an agreement from her that she will help us um keep the people safe in the aftermath of opening the vault. At least to evacuate them. Is that something that we're interested in doing?
I'd say so. I think it's a good idea because if it's not what they're looking for, she's going to keep looking. She's going to keep protecting them. If not, um, more so reason to get them on the pylon. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, our relics are, fetch a pretty price. So maybe if we could get some.
That and also possible Ur friends for Orin. Or Orin's interested in Ur things.
Mm-hmm.
Accurate. Okay.
I think it sounds like we have a consensus here. Do you have anything to add? We haven't heard from Warren, but I'm pretty sure he's wants to check that out. Tarosh,
I'm
anything
fine
to
with
add? You sure?
He doesn't like her.
it. No, he does not, but he trusts you guys. So, you guys are good with it.
Yeah.
He's good with it.
She's jumbling up my brain. I'm not a fan of that either. But
Oh no, I don't think any of us should in any way trust her blindly.
no, absolutely
Um,
not.
Should Orin talk to her then? Because can she manipulate him at all? No, right?
There are way users are able to interact with machines that are of origin, so it's possible she could.
Yeah, it's more like a soul inside of a robot than it is like a program of a soul inside of a robot.
Mm.
To confirm how a Urbot actually works. Okay, so we going back to I believe it was termed the bald way user, rude.
Not bald wazer, ball headed.
Ball-headed way user, sorry. Or rude. The follically challenged. Beyond.
Pushing the captain was rude.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
fair. So you
If
walk,
she
How dare they?
lucky she didn't catch the heat right away.
you
if
walk
she
back on
does it
her.
again, should we just throw the egg at her? Open it
Throw
up.
the egg at her. Throw the egg.
Yeah.
Probably
She-
slap it like a fucking icy.
I would at this point step back, or I would like to plan with the captain to step back and have the wait a minute. No, the captain's gonna get fucking pushed again. Okay, never mind. All right, so
He's-
Lupita, I guess leads the crew into the conversation and offers that
As you approach,
deal.
you can see that
Uh-huh.
she's still sitting, or she's returned back to her sitting position.
Okay.
Once she kind of looks up to see you approach, like she did last time, her gaze immediately shifts over to Zelri, and she does not pay attention to anything Lupita starts to say, and just interrupts you coldly and says, "Where did you find that?" To Zelri.
Oh shit.
It was given to me.
By whom?
Draft.
I am going to perform an action, Mystic. One you should have performed immediately upon seeing it. And she raises her hand, moves her hand like this, and Zelri, you feel the thing in your hands pulled away from you. Do you relinquish it or try and hold it?
I'm gonna try to hold it.
Okay. So you
Can
maintain.
I?
Can I just?
You maintain. You keep the hold, and she looks at you very confused, and then looks back to Lupita. Why would you resist? And then she lets go of the way. The chain she shackled to the container to pull it away from her. She looks to Lupita and says, "Why would you resist? Are you in league with the night beasts? Are you their servant?" She stands up slowly again, hands still out to the sides.
We do not serve the night beasts. We have.
Then relinquish the container.
Oh my god. She's like,
What are you gonna do with it?
Right.
I will show you.
Last time that happened.
I don't know you.
the night beast egg may be a powerful bargaining chip as we work towards the liberation of the galaxy. That is why we do not relinquish immediately. Also, use your words. I know you're used to pushing people around, but we're a crew. You can use your words.
She looks to you again. You are so willing to engage with these demons, these foul maladies, abominations of the way. Use them as tools? A bargaining chip, you said? The precursors would be livid to hear your short-term goals, your willingness to allow them to continue their spread. If it's birthed, it will pass beyond this place into the depths of shadow. And then what? I cannot be everywhere at once, neither can my fellows. And I'm certain that your group, whatever it might be, is unwilling and unable to combat them. Hell, you probably know nothing about them in sooth. If you wish to engage with the night beast, allow for its fingers to curl around your heart and blacken it. So be it. Leave my presence. I will find my own way into the vault. If you remain in this camp for longer than the day, I will have you killed. If you wish to relinquish the container, we can treat once again.
Yeah, do I give it to her? I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop
Wait.
No.
Wait, out of character. Okay, let's take an out of character beat.
Yep.
So, like, I hate that she's a bully and that she's like trying to impose her, whatever.
I am just
her.
role-playing a bully. I cannot...
No, I know. I'm not saying John is a bully.
I apologize.
Although John is a
Also
bully,
true.
and we
I have
all
been
know that
canceled.
that's true.
I have been canceled for such. Yes.
By
But
proxy.
I kind of like her.
Same. I'll be
that's
honest.
because you're sick,
Same.
Kimmy. You and
Oh
John.
my God.
Now, I do want to let you
She's
follow
like
with your beat.
Marsha coded.
So I just want to make sure that you've got everything you want on the table there with the moment here.
I got
Judo.
distracted.
If you want to go ahead and finish it, because it did sound like Kimmy was wanting Zelry to perform an action or kind of.
Oh, okay, wait. Yeah. Okay, before she drops it. Okay. I do think, like, out of character, I do think. Okay. Out of character, I do think that it's, like, a good idea to destroy this thing sooner than later.
So do you let Zelry drop it, and then kind of like? Offer...
Well, I would say to the captain. I don't know. These things are dangerous. What do you think, Captain?
Pudding.
Oh, I think Captain's out of pocket.
I didn't want to take this, but I felt like I had to take it to get it away from the camp.
Oh, very well. Sorry.
Why don't you slurp it?
I'm sorry. What?
You know the.
Does Jezzy react to the captain talking about eating the egg?
She doesn't seem to understand what he means. So, like, the eyes kind of raise, but she doesn't interject. She just seems to be waiting for you to...
Captain,
make a choice.
I'm not going to eat the damn night beast egg.
Oh.
What do you mean?
We
saw a guy do it.
Someone do it.
Explain yourself.
The man ate the egg.
She looks
Well,
she looks to Lupita, and you kind of feel this emotional kind of like annoyance again. Like you can feel her aggravation kind of manifesting in your mind.
Okay.
And she looks to you, and she says, "You had an issue with me using my voice on your captain before. I wish to do so again. I must know what he means. If you are unwilling to grant me this access, I cannot say I will not do it against his or your will. But I ask, in kindness, for your permission."
Captain, wait.
That's
So
not
she's
my
asking.
permission?
She's asking to read
both
his
of you
memory.
effectively to just basically push him into getting everything she wants from him word-wise. Like everything he knows about that event, she's going to ascertain.
It's
Whatever
100%
floats
up
your
to the
boat, lady.
captain.
Jesus.
Okay. If you say okay, which is what I think I heard right there,
Yeah.
she will turn to him. You'll feel the same thing happen again. You'll remember none of this. Everyone will watch for a couple of seconds while it looks like he's kind of very quickly moving his mouth, and she seems to be just kind of staring at him like he was just staring at him very intently. She then kind of turns her attention back to Lupita and says, "Is that why you wanted to keep it? So you could slurp it?"
No, I really just want nothing.
Isn't that what you all do? Don't you do that too?
Her eyes kind of flare
you're not
a bit
slurper?
in coloration, and then she looks to you. "Surrender it, or face my wrath. Your choices. And in kindness, I offer a choice instead of acting." Which,
I drop it. I drop
the second it hits the ground, she raises her hand and like makes a fist.
What?
It flies over to her. She takes her hand and she just kind of pushes it against it, and you can hear this like loud grating sound as the metal splits and breaks off of the egg. The second it does, she kind of moves it away from you all, turning her attention towards it to the side, pulls her shawl off, and just screams at it. And you can actually see the scream manifest around the egg as it shakes it into nothing. And it's the loudest you have ever heard someone make sound as she just blares it at the egg and disintegrates it.
That's pretty cool.
Donnie, were you trying to say something earlier?
Hmm?
Oh, were you trying to say something earlier?
Oh, yeah, when you're like trying to drop, you just gotta try to pick it up, but
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
she if you kind of reach for it, she
Yeah.
kind of whipped it up into her, like it flew to her like with the force.
yeah. Mhm.
And then she breaks it apart very suddenly and shatters it with her voice.
And you said it disintegrated?
Yeah, like you just watch it just become nothing, like but atoms. Like it kind of melts into nothing.
Well, we definitely don't want that to happen to our skulls, so we need to be careful how we treat with her.
She seems to be panting, like very, very kind of stressed, like she pushed herself very hard for that. And she slowly
Yeah.
starts returning the shawl and like hood and such to her head. I suppose you can be trusted. You've made the right choice. I will show you kindness still.
So you guys don't eat those, like everybody?
Lupita crouches down and just puts her hands over her face, like, why?
You feel a hand touch your hand, and you look up and can see her kind of, bright green eyes kind of staring down at you. Show me the way. You may have everything in the vault but one thing.
Give it to her.
Okay, look, we want to make sure before this vault, before I can help you with this, before we can help you with this,
Once
the
the
people in
vault
this,
is cleared, they will have no purpose to remain here. They will leave. The farther they get away from the Marsh pylon, the safer they will be. That's where the night beasts come from. That's where they reside.
and you won't leave them just here to die.
I will tell them that everything in the vault has been taken already, and our efforts are in vain. You will leave with what you wish to take. You do not need to tell them what you have taken. And I will leave with the remains of Dargor. If that is a suitable agreement, then show me the way.
I will look to the captain for the go-ahead.
This one seems to be
I mean,
of great import to you. What are you about?
Wait, what?
She looks to him, like, because you keep on deferring to him.
He's the captain!
That to her, that isn't.
I know,
that's
she doesn't give a
thing.
shit about that,
She
but
literally voices her person into doing what she wants them to do.
I own the boat.
She doesn't understand this consent stuff you're talking about. Like, she's not a. I'm not sure how that works. It's kind of creepy. I don't like saying it like that. But I mean,
Yeah,
at the
that's
same time,
kind of.
it's what she do. It's what she do. She's not a good person.
unethical Dami mommy.
She is a very unethical Dami mommy. The Night Speakers specifically say they have dark proclivities. They are focused on getting what they want done.
I mean, she's gonna give us like first choice in that vault. I like it.
No, she's going to give you whatever you want. Take what you like.
Well,
There's
yeah,
no first
but
choice. You can take everything.
I didn't think we would take everything. I didn't think the group would.
I assure you will be taking everything.
It's Pixie.
Somebody's whispering to a doggy?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
She's
okay, it's
like,
adorable.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
She doing okay, though? She's okay?
nah, she's not feeling great.
Oh, no. It's not good.
Yeah, it's okay.
Can I explain to Jesse? Say we fly around on a space boat, right? And these people are on the boat with me, but I found the boat, right?
She
That's
looks to Orin and says, I'm assuming it's a great boat. A boat
Oh.
worthy of such a noble captain.
You got it.
She shrugs.
Anyway,
Do
to
we
the
have an
door.
agreement? You take the long walk back towards the drab side of the woods because she knows where the door is, and it's at the end of that long column that exits off of the vault itself. You come to a point where you see what appears to be a very strange-looking door covered with symbols. There are strange yellow and black like paint marks on it, and there appears to be a very strange-looking glass cup or bowl kind of bolted to the ceiling with strange metals. She looks to you, waiting.
Wait, I did get the go ahead from the captain. Yes, okay, here's the key.
She looks at you, confused. I know not what to do with it. Do you know how to utilize this? And this seems to be the thing that you received in kind for the slurper.
Yeah.
Does he hold the key up? Yeah.
Can I try to attune
That's
like the key to the like try to trace the way that the key and the vault interact?
Perfect. So it's going to be an attune roll. This is an action.
Okay. I'm gonna expend a stress.
Okay. And remember, you have some gambits that are optional
Take
here.
2 stress. Anytime I could take a stress, I can instead take a gambit. Is that okay with folks if I take a gambit?
Currently have 2.
Go for it.
Okay, I can do that as
Yeah.
my ability. All right.
Yep.
So attune. Are we still risky or
We
no?
are.
Okay. Effect.
Effect will be standard.
1 dice for
Just push.
my push. Okay.
Yep. And I'll go ahead and say you have an additional dice because she is helping.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So, when you open the door, everyone is flooded with this very dire feeling, including the night speaker. This feeling emanates out from the open door and it just floods your very being. Every single one of you takes a single stress. You feel it in your bones. The thing that is in here is not unlike the Night Beast's aura. But it's like just a bit off. It'd be like if you're comparing Coke to Diet Coke. Seems to be like a synthetic measure that's present. It fades very quickly, the stress does not. The long hall before you seems to have walls lined with strange depictions of all sorts of different matter. The thing you notice is that as you move in the hallway, the lights turn on. And they appear to be old-style lights that are flickering on, kind of maintaining themselves as they do so. You continue down this long hall until it comes to a point where you are inside a large domed room. The ceiling is domed. There is definitely a sense that this is the basin or bottom of the thing they were drilling on well above you. Inside of this space, you see that it has been laid out very similarly to a spaceship's command deck. In the center is a chair. In that chair is a corpse. The corpse appears to have had its flesh decaying, but not in a natural sense. It almost looks as if the flesh, organs, everything exterior to the bones has descended off of the thing, like tar melting off of it. Some of it has dripped down onto the floor and formed pools. It is absolutely disgusting, and fortunately, Magpie's not here this week because I know she doesn't like bones. I just want to make sure I did it when she wasn't here. And she, the night speaker, seems to move towards that immediately. Also in the room, you would see that there is a suit of armor not too far away from the door. It appears to be very much similar to the armor plating that Orin wears, except it looks like it has been modified with very ornate writing and markings. It's kind of a off-whitish color. There are strange symbols kind of all about it. There's these very odd metals on the chest. A helmet is also included in the armor set. It is very much an knight attire. Near there, you see an ornate light blade and a very strange looking device which you've never encountered before. Looks like a handle as well, but instead of kind of having like a mirror, instead it looks like it has like, it's almost like an old style iron. You know, it's like a handle with like the two little things and like a flat metal panel. You know what I'm talking about? That's near the door. Near or towards the back, and seemingly like the structure of the kind of whole space, the main thing is a very old device. Orin, the second you see it, you recognize it. You know exactly what it is and what it is meant for. That, my friend, is a part that's missing from your ship. One that you haven't really... You've been vexed to figure out what it is and where it has gone. But it is an gate emitter. It allows for the ship it is attached to, or the structure it is attached to open up a gate to another gate. So these were used by the to, from pretty much anywhere, maneuver themselves to one of the central points, the gates that are seen throughout the Procyon sector, all the way deep back into the core. You know that it doesn't take you to any one you choose. It takes you to the closest one available. And it won't take you to kind of artificial gates like the ones that the rebels moved you through to get to here in the first place. So the little baby gate on the marker is one that won't count. And if you had an engineer, it'd be easy to just go ahead and pull that thing right off there, wouldn't it? But you don't, and you don't, so you can't. Joking, psych, you can totally get it off there, Orin. You know what to do. And
Yeah, okay.
Session-wise, that would basically be the closer for the episode. We will discuss the aftermath in the beginning of the next episode, but ultimately what will end up fast-tracking, because we did spend a little bit of time with the team meeting, which is fine. I do like the democratic pattern of the ship. It's very cool. But what I want to stress, though, is like when we get into the next part, we're going to discuss kind of fast-tracking. So submission successful. You have secured the rebels, right? You've also maintained their protection. You have satisfied the night speaker, which means you now have an ally in the night speakers, Jezzy, which you learn is actually short for Jezebel, is her full name, of course. And yeah, you would be able to make it back to your shuttle without issue, and back to the pylon without issue. But yeah, that's where we'll end the stream. Thanks for watching those that did, and we'll see you next week. As Magpie returns with Jags.